right, welcome back. So, last time you were looking for how to get back into the inner city in order to collect the results of the slave purchase. So, you ended up taking a job from Dupla by basically going and working with a person who is attempting to find a kind of shady fence. You got a few details about the actual assignment, that they are kind of a mobile person. They don't really have a shop. They are suspected of working out of either a cart or maybe just opening up a trench coat full of watches. You did manage to get the actual sales record, which indicated a couple of hundred slaves have been purchased and that they were requested to be different races, different genders, different ages. Getting this information, you then were able to make your way to the fence that Fiffle and Fern had previously worked with earlier in your adventure. So, we leave off there. What is everyone doing?
Um, I guess Graham is gonna kind of sit back and just keep an eye on things, try to read the expressions and actions of people.
Going in and out of the business?
Yeah, and then when we go in, he'll kind of mostly stay quiet unless necessary to pay attention to what the guy is doing, see if he's sussy.
Okay. I can make a perception or an insight roll.
All right, let me make an insight roll.
Yeah, that's something
I'm
I
good
would.
at this, so I will roll a two.
I will also. I was also thinking about something like that.
Eh.
Where's my thing?
Well, it was a three.
Can I also do that? Because I was thinking the same thing.
Give it a shot.
And when this thing pops up, it's loading kind of slow today. They did do an update though. I saw.
Yeah, there was a issue um, last week.
There's my insight. There's my insight.
Wow.
That's a nine.
Okay.
This is the other reason this the Underdark has been frustrating.
It's
Yeah, I think the roles have really made it just like burn out.
difficult to get a read on people. I mean, most of the people going in and out of the shop are basically, you get the idea they're just doing business. They are going into this store that you've been there before. It's basically the Underdark equivalent of a pawn shop. There's a few people going in or out who look a little more shady, have, you know, like a bag or a box that they're kind of tucked under their arm or hidden away. And when they leave the store, they don't have it.
Okay,
See,
so
like,
Fence is doing fence things.
yeah, you see, like, probably over the course of like an hour, you would see like 5 or 6 people having gone in and done business.
Can we tell by their expressions whether they felt like they were ripped off or not?
You are not sure.
Um, there was another thing. Do they look when they're going in, does it look like they're kind of looking around to make sure this is the right place, or does this seem like they know exactly where they're going and there's no indications that this might be like a moving location?
You do see them looking at the sign up above. A few of them, especially the more shady looking ones, do seem to be scanning not the actual sign um, font showing that the, like, this, what the store's name is. They seem to be studying the artwork above it.
Okay. It seems perfectly telling. I think this might be our schmuck.
I mean,
I guess
Fiffle
since
and
we're robo controlling Fiffle, if he's with
Have we ever
us.
seen? Yeah, I was gonna say, have we ever seen the thieves' cant that Fiffle gets excited about? I know.
Fern has.
Yeah, I know Fern has. I don't know if like Grammar I have. Like,
You've seen it in passing. No, none of you have really put a lot of thought into it. Most of it looks like either just generic graffiti or artwork.
Okay. Is there any cant around here that Fiffle can look at and see if there's stuff that suggests this is the temporary setup place of the rip-off fence?
Fiffle looks at the sign up above. Graham, this place is a fences house. They do fence work here.
Uh,
I want to ask, is this the same house you went to before?
Yep, that's the one.
okay. Well, I would imagine this is the place. But we gotta figure out if this is indeed the guy we're looking for. And remind me, what did they want us to do with the fence? Just get his ID?
Yep,
Um,
and they would take care of the rest.
yeah, I thought so. So no, just going in and murking the guy. Um, yeah, I guess we just gotta go in. I hesitate to ask this, but any of y'all got anything stolen defense?
Fiffle,
Everybody in the party
I
just.
want to look at Fiffle.
Fiffle's just like, not a single thing, Graham. Our eyes darting side to side.
I'm gonna incite him.
All right,
Did
go
we
ahead.
use all the hush sand?
Not
Because I have an inventory marker for the a vial of hush sand.
I believe you have a single, one or two doses left of it.
Okay, so we can use that for lack of other option. But otherwise, I guess we just act like customers.
You walk into the store.
I think so. I can't think of anything else.
Okay. The little bell rings as the door opens up. Familiar sight for both Fiffle and Fern. Graham, Otto, you are presented with a scene of just counters with various items on it. Doesn't really seem to have any theme to it. You see clothing, silverware, watches, all sorts of different things just kind of strewn about along counters under glass on little display shelves, and appears to be racks just kind of full of anything. And also plenty of general goods, as the sign you had previously seen shows that it's a general goods store plus a area where people can just sell things.
Okay.
The proprietor sees Fern, sees Fiffle.
I'm inciting him the whole time when has his eyes dart around.
Go ahead and roll an insight.
Then I also roll an insight or give him advantage.
You could do either, whichever you prefer.
This is not going to be with guidance, by the way.
Yeah, so we'll knock that guidance down. Okay. All right.
So also D4 or no?
Uh,
No, I don't. I think guidancing in here would be a bad idea.
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. Otto, you're not 100% sure what's going on. Graham, you see a kind of bead of sweat on the guy's brow, rolling down. He's looking at Fern and Fiffle somewhat nervously,
Hmm.
as he is. You also get the idea he is trying to get a read on Fern and Fiffle's disposition.
Hmm. Okay. And I don't think we knew about the ripping him off about the value of his.
I don't think Fern told Fiffle.
Yeah.
Anyway.
She did tell the guy she'd keep it secret.
Yep. She would keep it secret. She would keep it safe.
Hmm.
Hello. Greetings and welcome to my store. How may I be of assistance today? Are you looking to make any purchases, or would you perhaps be in business for selling something? I know how tough it is to make ends meet.
I've got I got a small lead that might lead to a big lead if you follow me. Graham will like subtly put down the vial of hush sand on the counter.
Oh.
So this is an advance that I got for, well, you don't need to know about that, but suffice to say, more will be coming, and I'll need to know where I can move an awful lot of stuff in a short amount of time if you follow me, and I don't necessarily want competitors to know where I'm plying my trade.
He takes the vial, looks at it, kind of shakes around. Graham, make a persuasion check with advantage because you used the actual vial of hush sand.
Nice.
Puts it on the counter. Well, it's perfectly legal within the city, but one must always say to themselves, are the taxes on it really worth it?
You get it. You get it.
Well, we could perhaps set something up. Now, of course, do you have the approval from our dear friends within the Gentleman's Business Bureau?
Hmm. Well,
We've had some trouble with certain individuals who have not been playing by the rules, so to speak.
can I insight that to see if he's genuinely talking about the issue we're here to fix, or if he's acting like he's not the issue we're here to fix when he is?
Yeah, give me an insight check.
Yeah, I would also like to insight that because that just
That's better.
also
Graham, or yeah, Otto, you can. Okay, yeah.
no, you don't know.
Otto, you're not 100% sure. Graham, you get the idea he is talking about the person you're seeking. And looking around the store, it's cluttered with not only a lot of stuff that seems to have been brought in, clothes seem to be moth eaten. There's also a lot of dust around. You get the feeling this store probably has been sitting here for a long time.
Okay, so this is most likely not the moving target. Okay, well,
That being said,
uh,
I'm sure with a small cut of our profit, you would be quite able to get that permission. We simply have to make sure everything's on the up and up. We have standards, you see, but I can certainly make sure this moves through the right channels to the right people without
well,
getting.
sorry, go ahead, finish.
No, I'm better leave it open for you, sir. Go ahead.
Well, as it happens, this was a test and you passed now. The uh, the trouble you're talking about is actually what really brings us here. Um, I'm, we're we're looking for a moving shop, as it were, and it doesn't seem to be you. Kind of gestures at the shelves. So, if you've got any insight on your not so friendly competition, we're here to address that issue directly.
Graham, you see the light in his eyes dim as he realizes the massive profit he was just hoping to make off of you suddenly just
Just,
evaporates in front of him.
aw.
Yes, that's a concern. He slides the vial back to you. Well, someone who hasn't been getting the proper stance of approval has been cutting on our business, and of course, our bureau makes sure to do business best we can with the major houses to ensure the flow of goods. So, last I heard, he was traveling around the park, seems to have been chased off. My understanding is he had a cart. No, it was a carriage, yes. One of the ones where you can fold down the window and the side of it to
Ah,
use as a mobile shop, so to speak. That may have been impounded, however.
hmm. Seems like the kind of thing he would want to get back. Do you know where it was taken?
Oh, it's probably with the soldiers. I would check by the barracks if he's crossed any of the major houses. Uh, they would be the ones to have it. The city guard here are handled by the Shadow Legion.
Hmm. Yeah, we've been acquainted once or twice.
Well, I certainly hope not with the inner city guard, but I would check with them. He probably is still operating. If I had to take a guess, probably with just a rucksack.
Hmm. Interesting. All right. Well, it's a start. It's any other info you can give us? I assume not, or this would have all been wrapped up already. But it never hurts to ask the locals.
Well, my understanding is a dark elf. Not from this city, is my understanding. How he was able to get a permanent inner city pass, I couldn't say. Probably made some friends somewhere with the one of the houses, but We could start with that. Oh, this is interesting. I believe from your accent you're from the surface. My understanding is he does speak your surface common.
Hmm. Oh, that's interesting. That's pretty useful, actually. Saves me having to cast spells all damn day to keep up with things.
Possibly a surface slaver, or at least does business on the surface. Or maybe just an adventurer who is peddling what bits and bobs he's collected by robbing tombs and graves.
Is that so?
Hmm, just a guess. I couldn't personally say for sure.
Hmm. Well, that's useful info to me. Thank you kindly.
Yes.
Here, Graham will give him back the vial of stuff. It ain't much, but for your time and effort.
Why, thank you, sir. You have done me a great service here. I do hope you find the person you're looking for. I wish you well in your travels, even if he just takes the vial, kind of shakes it. I'm sure I could make some use of this.
Yeah, use it for yourself, resell it. It's all yours now. And I guess we'll be on our way, unless anybody else got anything they need to get off their chest.
No.
Fiffle's just taking out gold teeth. Like, how many of those do you have?
Fiffle is checking the clothing to see if there's like tags indicating how much they're worth, but he's unable to find any.
You'll pay for this in time.
Biff will remember this.
Telltale Games, the Crossblades. All right. I think I'm set to jet.
Yeah. Safar with us?
I believe all four of you together.
Safar too.
Sathara, did you take her with you, or did you leave her at the actual at the hotel?
I
Uh,
don't recall because she's been kind of an independent agent helping us pick up the slack with us not exactly being secret agents.
I believe she mentioned that she was going to just chill at the hotel in case she'd been made.
Yeah, that's a reasonable thing to do.
All right. Well, what would everybody like to do now?
Um, I guess we can start looking. Um, we can check around for impound lots, and we can keep our eyes out for a surface speaker, uh, just traveling with whatever he can carry on his back, doing doing a crimes.
a mobile crime lord.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, let's do that. I can't think of anything else.
All right. If you would like to attempt to find this information by canvassing or speaking to people, give me an investigation roll.
I will do that.
Sure, I will also do that.
There we go.
All right.
Finally starting to get above room temperature.
There's mine. There's mine. Me
Ah.
too.
Graham, Otto, working together, uh, you're able to find out a little bit of information. You're able to find out that a cart was impounded and was taken to a small lot near the barracks of the Sharmouth, the Shadow Legion. It had been. You think that it had. Like, the rumors you heard, because there are a couple different ones, seems to be some sort of fee was not paid, or some license was not properly signed. You're not really sure. As for Drow who speak Common, um, most people don't really know any Drow who speak Common. Some of them mention their cousin does, or they are friends with a few slave raid leaders who are fluent in Common. Um, and a couple of them mention that a Drow in the inner city kind of speaks Common. He looks like a retired raid leader is what they would suspect,
Hmm.
but they're not sure his previous location or like where he's gone. Just that he's been kind of just roughing it as best he can and getting kind of hassled by the Sharmuth.
Hmm. As you do. All right. Um, I guess that seems like a promising lead. Start making tracks that way.
Okay, you're going to the impound lot near the barracks.
I think
Yeah.
so.
Okay. Well, this is all central in the city, so or the inner city, so pretty easy to find, especially because the inner city has that kind of large open area in the center. You're able to find the barracks. You do see the Sharmuth soldiers outside drilling. They are at attention. You see at this point probably a good, you would suspect maybe 1,000 of them currently out. You're not sure the actual strength of the Shadow Legion itself. You are able to see the barracks, that kind of like fortified stone building, an absolute fortress that makes the council hall look very just open and easy to enter. And you do see a kind of small, squat stone building, probably a good 3 blocks away from it, with a couple of Sharmuth outside of it. It has a metal fence kind of going around the perimeter of it, with the actual front of the building being open to the street.
Hmm. Gonna continue the people watching thing. We might need to talk to them, but I'd like to avoid that for at least a little while.
Okay. Give me an insight check, please.
Eh, there it
Yeah, I was
is.
gonna say
Difficult to.
Can I help?
I
Yeah,
was gonna help him, but
yeah. If
Okay,
you'd like, you could roll another insight with advantage.
that's a little better. Oh wait, that's investigate.
Oh,
same thing though. Six.
Just
yeah.
about. Well, my modifier would be make it a 17 instead of a 16.
We'll just call it 17.
Cool.
Um, Looking at this building, you primarily see other members of the Sharmuth approaching. Looks like at one point there's a guard change. You do see an officer with most of them wearing helmets, but the officer has his helmet tucked under his arm. It has a bit brighter colors to it, and he is wearing a colored cape of a kind of deep purple. You also see a number of what looks like maybe citizens going and talking. A few of them exchange money and then are given basically a box where they pull out bits and bobs. You're not really sure. It looks like mostly business as usual is the kind of idea you're getting from watching these people.
Okay. Um, I assume no signs of what looks like the fence.
I mean, we've seen quite a number of drow. In fact, it's been all drow, a mix of men and women who have gone there. Few of them look to be wearing. Most of them look like they're wearing a kind of like middle class or maybe lower middle class kind of garb.
This guy was older though, right?
Uh, it's kind of the description you got. You were told that they'd been seeing somebody who looked a little rougher and spoke common, like a retired raid leader might.
Uh,
We probably didn't see anybody speaking or hear anybody speaking, but did anybody match the looking rougher around the edges type of thing?
Most of them look maybe middle class or lower middle class. They speak a language that you suspect is undercommon, but you cannot make out. You definitely know none of them are speaking common.
okay. Well,
Maybe we can check out that retired raid leader that people said was kind of being
yeah, somebody
hassled.
who's got the look. Question is, where would they hang out?
I think the other that person we met at the shop mentioned the park. Did they?
Yeah, that's true. We can head there, and I guess worst case we could go and see if we could bribe them into telling us, hey, whose card is that you impounded? Yeah.
Okay. Well, what would you like to start with?
I guess let's check the park.
Okay. Fern and Fiffle have been to the park a couple of times. Well, so it's easy to get to it.
Fern's been to the park?
Did Fern go to the park? No, Fern
No.
was offered a job to go to the park, but she did not. Fiffle decides to just lead the way, taking you to the park.
This is like his third time there, isn't it?
Yes, I think it actually is. Familiar sight for Fiffle. The kind of black iron fence around the park with the sharp spikes at the top. A large gate stands open with just a couple of guards who don't really appear to be taking anything too serious. I mean, they're rigid, standing straight. They don't appear to be at attention. Spears at their sides, resting on their shoulders. There is a smaller gate that you see a number of indentured servants entering or exiting from as well. You do see the occasional person enter into the park, a few families, a few people all leaving. Everyone seems calm. Maybe you could even see it as being happy, as you can be in this area.
We're a D&D character. We don't know what happy looks like.
What's it, happy?
It's like exalted.
Happy.
It won't make them happy. What does that have to do with anything? You know what? You're right. I don't know where that came from. I guess if it's public access, we can go in.
As you walk towards the gate, the guards look at you, but don't make a move to stop you.
I guess we just head in and Bram resumes people watching to try to find the culprit.
Yeah.
Entering into the park, Fiffle, for him, it's a familiar sight. Paved paths, rose bushes with the kind of very bright, vibrant red of the roses, although the very sharp black thorns on the stems. A large fountain in the middle. You do notice a small pond that, from the looks of it, actually appears to be artificial, as it looks more like a kind of pool almost with a tiling on it. You see some open fields where you see a number of drow children running around playing, kicking a ball. A number of families there. You do see a number of very well-dressed people sitting on benches discussing something in Undercommon. Go ahead and give me an insight roll to do some people watching. And, of course, with everybody helping, you can roll with advantage.
Okay, thank you. Even Ian is like, all right, dice, come on, we got the plot. We got a plot to roll.
I am helping with the people watching.
Yeah.
Most of the people
Is there a
are.
dog bark?
You do see an occasional pet kind of roaming around.
It's like a spider.
It's
Spider park.
not a spider. It's definitely not a dog, though. It looks like a kind of large, muscular lizard. The body appears almost like a mastiff body, but you definitely notice that the head has the kind of Komodo dragon-esque head with it. Large teeth kind of jutting from the lips, and like the thick tail, and very, very scaly. You see a couple of them on leashes being moved around by people. A lot of them have collars, with a couple of them having bells on them.
Cute.
Looking at the people, most of them look to simply be enjoying the park. Some of the people on the benches are engaged in some kind of business. Graham, with that 19, you suspect the business is most likely illegal, or at least underhanded.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You don't really see anything that looks terribly out of the ordinary, although you do notice a number of indentured servants who are maintaining the park property, who kind of nervously looking around, and you see a couple of them discussing among themselves. They look a little agitated, more so than you would suspect they need to be, and you're not sure why.
With Fiffle in the lead because he's the most circumspect, kind of meander over to see if we can eavesdrop on him. Maybe they got ripped off.
Fiffle going over. They are speaking a dialect of halfling, so Fiffle is able to pick it up, as one of them is a halfling. Fiffle overhears what they're saying, comes back to you. Oh, Graham, one of them was saying that he had managed to pick up some trinkets, and he was looking for that fence who was in the park. His friend said that that guy had been run off, and don't know when he's going to be back. Said he probably was, you know, looks like his cart got impounded, so, home and shop. So most likely he's probably roughing it in one of the areas where anybody homeless goes to.
Hmm. Okay.
And then Fiffle caps it off with, and then the halfling managed to give quite a few swears, including ones I'd not heard before that I really enjoyed.
Ooh.
Foomph.
One of those.
Foomph. I love it.
Is that how Graham understood it from the halfling swear?
Yeah, Fiffle just said it in halfling.
Oh. Uh,
I'd like to retcon that Rami learned his swear in halfling, and he will use it at some point.
so I guess the next question is, where do the homeless go in a city like this?
Oof, there.
Foomph.
Any insights, anybody?
Uh, I don't think it'll be the inner city.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Maybe out by the slave quarters, but not quite. Is there anything like a poor
Do we
quarter?
remember seeing anything when we came in, especially when we helped with the fire, of like any homeless people?
Um, though those homes that were in the slave quarter were very hastily set up, or built up over time. Didn't really look like anybody was homeless there, although it looks like it was almost all slaves, with the exception of the guards.
Oops, all slaves.
So during our adventures in the inner city, have we seen anything that would resemble close to homelessness, like an area of that or poverty?
Give me a flat intelligence check to try and remember if you have.
Oh
Nice.
shit!
Otto, you remember seeing that there weren't any like really homeless shelters. You did occasionally remember seeing maybe a couple of people who had been sleeping on the streets who had been arrested by guards. You do remember seeing plenty of homeless people in the inner city, or not the inner city. I'm sorry, the outer city, more spread around. And you do actually recall seeing that there was a place where homeless people could be encouraged to put themselves up for indentured servitude to make some money.
Pay off their debts. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. The secret is finding where people are most exploited.
Just a
Okay.
different world.
I guess we can head that away.
Yeah,
You do remember seeing one of those spots actually within the inner city, along the kind of twisted, turned path of the various houses, territory you had to pass through. You do remember seeing a couple of those. The closest one would be just at the edge of House Theldris.
let's I guess start moving that away.
Okay. Well, not too hard to find. Looks like just a little from the outside. You would suspect it'd be just a nondescript office. You see somebody at a writing table. Really, the only thing that indicates that this area is an indentured servitude office is you do see a crate filled to the brim with unlocked silver collars.
Ah, just giving them away. All right.
There's you see two clerks kind of just working there, plus some guards of the Sharmouth.
Um, are they busy? Are there people kind of routinely coming up to them, or is it mostly just them doing their day job stuff?
You see at this point, there's no line. You do see a couple of people leaving with silver collars snapshot around their neck.
Hmm. Aye.
One of them looks. Next, he says. Actually, he starts off by saying it in Undercommon. Seeing that nobody recognizes it, he cycles through to a couple languages before arriving to Elvish. Next.
Let's say he's calling us next.
In fact, I think only. Does anybody but Fern speak Elvish?
I do.
Okay, so Otto and Fern would hear this.
Yeah, and I will say said next to Graham and I guess Fiffle.
Fiffle looks, well, no time like the present.
Yeah. Okay.
I feel like Fiffle would just skip ahead.
Team crime deploy.
The clerk, ink stained fingers, sitting at a kind of hunched over a desk filled with just papers, ink pots, looks at you. Well, I certainly don't think you lot are selling yourselves to indentured servitude, so are you looking for an indentured servant?
Uh, looking for someone who might be trying to get out of trouble by getting in over here, running from his debts, as it were.
Are we translating for him in this case?
If possible, yes, that would be
No,
nice.
I'll translate.
Okay. Yeah.
Just start talking past each other the whole time.
Translating from Common to Elvish. Well, many people are looking to get out of their debts. I'm assuming you're looking for a specific person.
Yeah. Anybody mention anything about having their livelihood impounded?
Do you mean all of them?
Mm, somebody who specifically had a wagon that was their home and storefront.
I mean, we believe we had somebody like that. Now, however, I'm not here to answer questions, and so I would ask you to either purchase an indentured servant from us, or you can sell one of your own into here if you're curious. I'm looking to make a little money. It's not bad work. We sell contracts starting at 3 years, 7, up to 21. Or for your more long-term living races, we offer 56-year contracts.
Do we want to try to bribe him for info, or on the one hand, it has made the world go round thus far, but on the other hand, like I barely have any money left after all the bribing I've been doing.
I don't know actually.
Continues in Elvis. Well, if you're...
I don't know. I don't think we're gonna. I don't think bribing might work in this case. He just wants business and just get out.
Look, we have lots of people coming in, selling their services. We have plenty of destitute, plenty of homeless people. And we even have, annoyingly, some who are brought here and simply refuse to
Leave.
accept their lot in the world and sign up. It's a short 56 years, and frankly, you're treated, well, better than the ones out in the outer ring of the city.
Hmm.
No one's putting you to work in a field. Mostly you're just serving in restaurants or acting as a valet.
Okay.
Frankly, I think it's great work. Now, can I fit you with a collar today, or
I think we're good on the collar
It was
front.
in a
Thank you.
car.
perhaps a valet then? You do have to pay them, of course, and we do have a small processing fee. But I can easily set you up with. Let's be honest, you lot don't speak Undercommon, I take it. Perhaps somebody who could translate into Undercommon for you?
I have the
Actually,
book.
yeah. You got anybody with surface language experience?
Yes, of course. We have a number of people. I can suggest three who are currently waiting for assignment. Uh, we have human man. His undercommon, bit rough, but workable. I have a halfling who's quite fluent in undercommon, apparently a trader from surface and underdark who found himself in a bit of struggle, and a satyr, which was a more unique person, but quite adept at multiple languages, if perhaps a bit eccentric.
I wouldn't happen to have any drow employing your business contracts, do you?
As in purchasing our indentured service? Yes, many. Or do you perhaps mean selling themselves as an indentured servant?
The latter.
Not as common. The noble houses try and take care of their own, so you'll definitely find a few houseless here or there. But yes, we have plenty who have found themselves partaking of our services. Generally, they're snapped up relatively quickly, as a indentured servant drow works quite well with a noble house, depending on their skill set.
How about any in the language biz new arrivals?
Oh, yes, there actually was one, but he was snapped up by one of the minor noble houses relatively quickly. A bit older, a little rough around the edges, I thought, but I figure with a good shower and a shave, he would be quite able to fit in. But I do believe he was taken for his translation skills. Spoke Undercommon, Common, and among other things from another city, so definitely houseless.
Hmm. Uh, who uh, who picked that feller up?
Oh, he was actually picked up by Kinthrick, one of the major houses, although it was probably sent to a smaller cadet house.
Okay. Who? What are the cadet houses for them? Like how many they got?
Couple. I don't have an exact number. There's Kinthrick Thriss, Kinthrick Dry, Kinthrick Ein. Those are the three I can think of off the top of my head.
Hmm. Interesting. All right. Well, thank you for your time. We'll let you know if we've got any sales to make.
Yes, yes. Anyway, then.
Okay. I guess we can go back to the intel guys and tell them we need info on Kinthrick so we can find the dude. Or we could also ask the Thieves Network if they know much about the guys.
Yeah, but what that got me thinking. What was the end goal of this? We just needed to locate him.
Basically, yeah, we find out where he is, and then we just tell the Thieves Guild so they can go and deal with him operating outside of their jurisdiction or without their approval.
So wouldn't this technically be complete once we locate which specific?
Well, that's what I'm saying. If we can find out which house and confirm it,
Yeah,
then we could go to them and say, "Here, this is where he's at." But I think if we just gave them check out House Kintrick, they'd be like, "That's nice. Here's like a 5 gold pittance finder fee," because we have to do most of the legwork still.
okay. No, that's. I was just thinking it's like we narrowed it enough. That's why. But, no, it makes sense.
So, do we have a way of getting in contact with either organization relatively easily?
If you'd like, you could make an intelligence check.
I will try.
Yeah, that's right. Out of character, I know who can possibly do that. In character, I do not know.
Graham, you suspect the initial fence you had gone to and questioned probably can get you that information within the Thieves Guild network. Heading back to Dupla and speaking with any of the employees there, they could probably find that information out for you.
Hey, exactly what I was thinking.
Let's
Both of
see if
them.
we can lean on the fence first, because they might ask for a finder's fee for giving us info that led to us getting paid,
And,
or like take it out of our pay, I should say.
and you suspect that if you check the carriage, maybe some identifying documentation.
This is
Can we
true.
send Fiffle to try? Well, then again, Graham is about to suggest that, and then he remembers last time we sent Fiffle off, he got his ass arrested and got us into severe debts. It's not his fault; it's the dice's fault. But Graham doesn't know that. Um. Yeah, I would say let's go back to that fence and ask him what he can tell us about the minor cadet houses and where those guys are. See if we can go from there.
Okay.
I'm gonna go top up my coffee. Be right back.
All right.
Let's see that.
Heading back to the fences shop. Well, you've been there before. Do you enter in?
Yeah.
Okay. The bell rings again. The fence. Ah, well. Oh, you again. I've noticed you tend to visit and never buy. Well, how can I help you?
What were we trying to find out? Kintrick?
Yeah,
Kintrick?
about the houses. So he
Uh,
also knows about this, so he might be like slightly invested in this.
I need some information on House Kintrick. It has to do with the person we were looking for earlier when we came in here,
Oh,
who's causing problems for everybody.
well, Kinthrick is rather. Well, I won't go there. The Wall Seviers, of course. I will tell you any publicly available information about them if you're interested. What do you want specifically?
Well, we want to know about what did they call them?
Indentured servants.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we want to know about some
Yeah,
indentured servants they've.
sharing some information with us might behoove you in your competition disappearing permanently.
Oh, yes, I agree. But if you're looking for indentured servants, they probably have a couple hundred.
Uh, new
Well, they've acquired
people.
a recent one, if you catch my drift,
Yes, but I
that
don't.
you might be interested in.
Oh, yes, I get your meaning. It is a problem. We don't keep track of that information. They, the, the balance of power we have requires us to not involve ourselves with that business. I could attempt to find that out. However, of the noble houses, Kinthrick is the least accepting of the business people and society that I represent, or at least I'm a part of. More secretive. So this is going to be a smidge more difficult, especially for the main house. The cadet houses tend to take a little bit after their main branch, of course.
We think he's at one of the cadet houses.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
there's 3 primary cadet houses. The other ones have not exactly prospered. Let's see, there
Feels
was
like one that might be starting to prosper then.
Kinthric Zen, I believe, was one of them. Kinthric Y, Kinthric Ein. So if he's a member of or an indentured servant, one of those 3 could be possible. Although I will give you a little insight into his mindset. Most likely has already popped his collar and, if he's smart, melted it down and sold the silver.
How bad does he want his cart back?
I'm not him, although considering he, the rumor I heard was that a cart had been impounded because a stamp hadn't been applied to the proper sales license. So, if he paid the fine, he could easily get the cart back. Of course, if he got caught doing business without the proper stamp again, then he would find himself impounded right back up. Now, if he did melt down the silver, then I suppose he could attempt to use that to purchase the cart back. The other issue is he'd have to find a silversmith in order to actually, engage in that affair.
Humor me. How much is this cart going to cost to buy out of the impound?
Well, I don't know. I haven't attempted to purchase any cart. Could be 3, maybe even up to 10 gold. He'd have to get quite a lot of silver, although he might be simply using the silver as a bribe. Now, I've given you quite a bit of help, and I can't help but notice I do appreciate the hush sand, but perhaps you could make a purchase from this store before we continued on.
Just let me look around and see what he has.
Various different, it looks sort of like a Goodwill, and that you just see all sorts of different items lying around, a lot of clothing of different cuts, all of it kind of musty. You see silverware, plates, you see jewelry, some weapons here or there, lockpicks, different kits around, cooking kits, artisan kits, things like that. And as well as just general goods, number of torches, rations, tinder boxes, rope, crowbars, things like that.
I take it this is his wagon and impound.
No, you're still at the
This is the guy that wants us to buy something really bad for helping him, giving us info.
I had a thought, by the way. Once we figure out where the guy is, we could go back to the Thieves Guild, give them that info, and suggest to them that they buy out his contract as a laborer and just forcibly take a cut of everything while making him work as a fence for them.
For the end of time.
Or at least until he's paid his dues.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I like that actually.
I don't have a lot of money. He wants us to buy something for getting help from him.
Yeah, is there any? Take a look, see if there's anything you want. I'll buy something for you. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, Graham will look through his stuff.
Vern can look too. Vern looks too. See if there's anything you like.
Maybe some rope. We always seem to need rope. Now it's breaking.
That is true. You always do need more rope. Is there anything emanating spooky, necromantic, spiritual energies that Graham would recognize, or is it just all normal shit?
It's all normal. if somewhat worn.
What about the weapons? Do the weapons look like there's anything special about them? Maybe just mishandled and just needs like some TLC to like bring out some like potent properties. Can we tell by that? Look at them.
Handling the weapons, none of them look to be magic. You do actually find one that is labeled as you would be a +1. It would be a +1 longsword.
Hmm.
A lot of the weapons you're looking through have any maker's mark that had been printed on them or stamped on, have been rubbed off or scratched off or sanded off.
Can we add a character something real quick?
Yeah.
How does a +1 longsword interact with the warlock thing? Like one's like a no
I will
guns with.
have to check to see.
Mm,
I
I'll grab it.
believe magic items.
I think it'll.
I think
Yeah.
it could work, but I will double check.
I can't imagine you'd let it go for very little money.
A lot of stuff does have prices listed above it. This does not.
Yeah, I had a feeling.
It's also locked in a display case.
I was like, "What's the?" I'll ask him, "What's the story with this?"
Oh, this came in from a adventurer who had retired. Parted with ways with it as he had no further need of it, but did have use of the coin it brought. That one doesn't have a price. We would need to negotiate on a price that we both found to be fair.
Of course he would.
We're gonna do the exchange of deals, but it's just gonna be a series of favors.
It's the.
In the
I'm
case
just
of the very
like,
nice +1 longsword.
instead of like negotiating with like the fiend or the demon is just like we're just gonna negotiate with this halfling.
It's the halfling is Tataru. Like you should have gone with the demon. That would have been an easier negotiation.
God. Oh my God.
Oh Jesus! All right, I'll be right back again. I'm not trying to stay away from my computer. My body is being my body.
Anyway, if you were interested in the sword, I would start with 500 gold, and we could work from there.
What kind of condition does it look like if I'm like eyeballing it?
Looks to be in good condition. Blade is well polished. Doesn't appear to be damaged. Looks sharp. Looks well maintained. It's sitting in kind of like this velvet cushion under the locked case through the glass. Is kind of sunk into it rather heavily, so it's been sitting there a while. If you had to take a guess, it would be a very, very good sword.
Brain is thinking here. Just for want to just get the rope while I like brainstorm here in my head to not hold up the session.
Sure. Ryan will grab some rope and buy it.
We sell them in coils of 50 feet apiece.
Can I get 2 of them then?
Yes, of course. That'll be 2 gold, please.
Is that a normal price for rope?
You can make an insight check to kind of read his expression.
I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
Oh, that was supposed to be.
Well,
also-
it would still be a 17.
I need to hang on. Let me get to it's my charger. My laptop's about to like explode.
Okay.
I just saw that.
Fern, yes, he doesn't seem to be trying to scam you or anything. This is a normal price for rope. And you've seen rope on the surface as well, and typically it has the same price.
Okay. If not, he was scamming me last time.
Seems it's ubiquitous enough that 1 gold price point's pretty normal.
Okay, I'll hand over 2 gold.
Alright, he hands you 2 coils, 50 feet apiece of hempen rope.
Thank you for that.
You're quite welcome.
Oh my god, I just made it. I just thought I had like 2% battery left.
Now, I did see your friend there interested in that sword. Now, that's a very, very good sword. The adventurer who used it took very good care of it. It's also a magic weapon, so it can be used to fight anything that is resistant to non magical effects. And it's also resistant itself to anything that would typically destroy a mundane blade.
Pretty nice. Not really a sword person, mostly, but that sounds really cool.
Put it on your coffee table. It'll be a good conversation starter.
Me? No.
I'm
No,
just
thank
thinking.
you.
I'm
Do
just
you have any
thinking.
fancy bows?
I'm just thinking like Fern would just like kept like pull out a pistol and just like execute you. Oh god.
Uh, we do have a number of crossbows, light crossbows, heavy, as well as short bows or long bows. For fancy, I could I could source a +1 for you if you're interested.
mm, maybe I'll think about it.
Although I should mention, he points to the bow on your back. That one is a very nice one. And I can tell that it apparently is customized for your shorter stature. I cannot guarantee that a longbow that I find would be as usable by you, at
Mm,
least with the proficiency you seem to display with that one.
I see. Well, I'll keep this one for now. And thank you though.
Although with a bit of
Am I coming?
work, I could find you a bower who would be able to customize a bow to match your size, if you're interested.
Um, I don't know how much longer we're gonna be down here, to be honest.
Fair enough.
So I'll have to look into that whenever I get back home, I guess.
Jesus, this. Am I getting to like cut out like kind of like robot-y?
A little bit.
Just a little bit.
I think because the computers just started like the laptop started to overheat after a while.
Oh, no, you're not too bad.
Mm-mm.
Okay, good. I'm in front of the fan right now. But it's going into the vent, and everything's like taking a second to like load.
Anyway,
Anyway,
your
so
if your business is complete and you're not interested in the sword,
it's
I have nothing further to offer you, unfortunately.
I'm not sure. Were you interested in this sword or you're not?
what I am. What? Tell me more about the sword. It
Oh,
says magic, but it's not gonna. Does it do anything besides just being magical?
oh, like start fires and like no, but as far as magic goes, it's very potent. You it's sharper than a normal sword and maintains the edge despite use. You don't have to use a sharpening stone or whetstone to keep its blade clean. The magical enchantment on it means that it's going to find its target a lot easier, as well as cut in easier into the target as well. So you should expect it to be able to do more damage than your typical sword would.
What about resistances? I noticed a lot of things are a little bit resistant to slashing.
Oh, with a magic enchantment on it, those resistances melt away. The magic ensures that anything resistant within reason loses that.
He said 500. Can I incite that
Yes, go ahead.
once uh once it decides to like take my click?
Yeah.
No, I clicked it. We're just
Oh
waiting
yeah.
right now.
Well, probably just roll 20.
Come on. Obviously not without. I don't think I can do the thing.
All right,
21.
21. Yeah, you suspect that's probably about a good price for a sword. Especially as this guy is attempting to downplay the fact that he's a fence and appear as a legitimate general store. So you probably suspect he is trying to sell it. at a reasonable price. As for where he actually got it from, probably wasn't where he said he got it from, and he probably didn't pay as much for it as he would have if it came from a more legitimate source.
So the price seems on par, basically.
Yep.
So
It's a fantastic sword.
it is. I'll give you 450, but you're also helping you with your problem that is unsavory.
Make a persuasion roll.
Well, let's see if this goes through anytime soon.
Well, now you have to understand that I'm helping you. This issue would eventually go away of its own accord. So me providing information. So if anything, really, I think I should be adding more money to it. Don't you think? However, because you've been
However, I think
polite,
that
I will remain at
I make
500.
the problem, I can make the problem go away sooner, which means you get a profit sooner.
I mean, honestly, from what you've told me, it sounds like he's already been turned into an indentured service. So if anything, really, the problem has solved itself.
But you said that he can also melt the silver and get his stuff and then get out and then become a problem again for you.
Purely a theory. And besides, he's a problem for the business's network I am a part of. But that doesn't actually negatively affect me personally. And I have bills to pay, of course. I did pay quite a bit of money for this sword, so I should be expected to sell it at a profit, don't you think?
I question your acquisition story, but I do respect that you do need to sell it at a profit.
Mm-hmm. Well, my story is my story. I have all the proper paperwork to indicate that it has been properly sold.
I mean, purchased.
Sold, purchased, doesn't matter. Flows in and out as I need it to.
Hold up, I'm out of character. Out of character. I have to laugh at that one. That was actually really good. Um, yeah, I'll take it.
All right. 500 gold, and I will get it for you.
Okay, got it. One eternity later, I'm loading.
Okay, so you give him the 500 gold, though, right?
We'll do it.
Okay. He takes a small key out of his pocket, heads over to the display case. He looks. Just look away for a moment, and you kind of hear some magic words being spoken, and you can kind of see the light being reflected from a magical spell being cast, and then he puts the key in, turns it, and opens the case. Takes out a kind of silver cloth and picks up the sword and brings it to you. It is a very nice sword. As he hands it to you, handle first.
Okay, I'll grab it.
Excellent balance on it. It is approximately the same length as a regular long sword, but the craftsmanship on it is vastly superior. There's also a bit of an artistic flourish, as it looks like somebody inlaid a bit of a green tinted steel within the blade itself. Sort of looks like vines kind of curving up along the blade itself, as well as a couple of like red tinted steel as well inlaid to make it look like the sword has a number of roses growing off of it.
I like that.
Yes, this was not a sword that was from the Rose Knights collection, but it is in the style.
Sword, and I'm assuming like when I'm holding, I can actually feel the magic in it.
It doesn't really feel like if you were to like swing it around, it feels well balanced, normal. There's no real magical aura you can detect off of it, although that's pretty normal for most magic items.
Not everything is Val.
Yeah, Val's
Special.
special.
Sorry about that.
Just like his owner.
What's
No,
up?
huh?
What'd I miss?
I bought a +1 longsword.
Ah, cool. What'd you buy it for?
500.
Ah, not bad. Turns
Mechanically,
out if you don't spend money, you have money.
yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. I also have a tavern to pay off for.
Also true.
Now, mechanically speaking, a +1 longsword is going to have a +1 to hit and a +1 to damage. And because
Okay.
it's magic, it's going to ignore immunities and resistances for non-magic items, of non-magic slashing and the like.
Yep. Okay. Where is? I feel like I dragged it from the 5e thing, but it's so, so slagged right now.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Okie dokie.
Okie dokie artichoke.
Hmm.
And it can also, like, I guess it can also function as a two-hander.
Yep, it
So,
is considered versatile, so you can use it in one hand or two, and it'll do more damage if you use it in two hands. The only problem is you can't use a shield using it
yeah.
two-handed.
Yeah, it's not adding that right now. That's all.
We'll correct that later.
All right. I've actually hit I've adjusted my money and it's just taking forever to do it right now.
It'll catch up eventually. I'm sure
Yeah.
Roll20 had been having a few problems lately.
Yeah.
They had
They
one.
fixed that bug where you can roll above a 2.
I also had to run to the charger, man. I had 2% battery left.
Ah.
Well, no. I hope this sword works out well for you. And considering the business you're investigating, cart, silversmith, or just being able to find out information concerning the cadet houses of Kinthrick, whichever you prefer. I hope I've been of assistance for tracking down your errant associate.
Thank you kindly. Okay, I guess now we can use that info to go and try to snoop to figure out where he's at. Question mark?
Oh, you got a few leads, so whichever you prefer.
Okay. Maybe we can send Fiffle, Sathara, and Fern, not to break in, but to just kind of eavesdrop and see if we can figure out where the guy went to. Unless that was info that was covered while I was away.
I was having a hard time if you give him the abridged version, basic. He's considered out of the way now. I heard everything through my little lag fest, but he's considered out of the way. He probably wants to go back to his cart. It's 10 gold to get his cart, to access to it, and I guess just take over it.
Let's do that. Let's pay for the cart and then let's sell it to the Thieves Guild. So then when he comes to collect his cart, he's got to go through the guys he was ripping off, and then they've got him where they want him because they own his cart. I think they'll be pretty happy with that turn of events.
Yeah, that does.
So let's go buy that dude's cart. I'll pay for it if you want. I got 10 gold.
Yeah, that's fine.
So Graham will go to the impound lot.
Okay. At the impound lot.
So it's just I'm very slow right now.
Yeah, it's okay.
I should do this on an laptop. I feel like Macs just overheat very fast.
They do. Okay. You head to the impound lot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. At the impound lot, same thing you had seen before. You do see that little stone building with the fence around it and a person kind of at that front counter, plus a couple of guards, just making sure everybody's on the up and up.
Graham will approach the desk and say in common, do you have a common interpreter?
Puts his hand up. A moment later, somebody comes back. I speak common. A
Uh,
bit of a
Howdy.
rarity. Yes, hello.
I'd like to purchase something that was impounded, a wagon and all the goods inside.
Okay, we have a number of them. Which wagon is it?
Um, I assume it got pointed out to us, or some sort of way of identifying it.
You were told that it was a wagon that doubled as a store and
Yeah,
a living quarter.
one of those storefront wagons with the side that expand opens up.
Yes, that one. It was brought in because the owner was doing business without a proper business license.
Sounds right.
I'm interested in this.
Well, he hasn't been back to collect it, and it is past the typical hold period, so it is up for auction. Although if we would like to simply pay the fee, we can sell it to you right now.
I think I'd like to do that if possible. What do I owe you?
10 gold, please.
10 gold. Here you go. Graham will pay for the guy's wagon.
Okay, thank you. And he puts out a little piece of paper, takes out an ink pot with a quill. Sign there to just indicate transfer of ownership.
Okay. Graham will Graham will aggressively paperwork.
Takes a heavier sheet and signs it. Hands it over. There you are. You are now the fine owner of a business cart. Please use it only for the purpose of transporting. If you wish to do business with it, you must obtain a proper business license.
Understood. Wouldn't want to be back here myself.
And I should mention, no horse. You will be required to provide your own form of transport for it, whether you pull it yourself or whether you attach a creature of some measure to it.
Gotcha.
We do offer, if I may make a point, we could purchase one of the variety of mounts, or if you would like, we could purchase some indentured servants who would be able to pull it on your behalf.
Some regular old beast of burden would probably be best.
We have mules, horses, giant lizards, giant spiders, striders, whichever you prefer. We don't sell them here, of course, but there are those that can be purchased
Okay.
at a stable.
So what are we doing now?
We just bought the guy's wagon off of the impound lot. Now we just have to arrange for a way to pull it. And
We'll go take a look at the wagon in case he decides to
yeah,
go up.
it's a good idea.
Yes,
Go
of course.
kick the tires, as it were. Kick the wainwright.
Look, he turns one of the guards. Exchange shortly in Undercommon. The guard goes over to a gate and unlocks it and opens it up. He will escort you to the cart and will escort you out once you are satisfied with the item.
Okay, cool. I assume nothing unusual about it since we looked at it.
Yeah, look, going up to it, it's a bit older. The wheels are a little old and the axle's a bit rusted. The paint is fading, but it is basically just a nice wooden cart, about 12 or so feet long, about 6 or so feet wide. It opens up in the back to enter it in. There's also an opening at the front for looking out forward, and you do notice that it does fold down. The side, would be the left side if you're looking forward, to allow it to act as a counter for a moving store.
Nice.
Inside, there are a number of. Really, it's mostly just a random collection of gear. It looks sort of like that general store had been kind of shoved into it. You find 2 coils of rope, a number of horseshoes, You find lamp oil. You find a couple of torches, tinder boxes, 5 rations, and a bedroll that looks like it has been used.
Okay. Graham will leave it as is. Does Fiffle notice anything missing, or Fern from when it was scoped out before?
You actually didn't scope it out, funny enough.
Okay, okay.
Fiffle looks
Um,
at the cart. Hmm. Hmm.
hmm?
Fazoon's cart of mysteries and wonders. Huh. Look at that.
Yeah,
And he points to like a sign, faded, dirty, with the paint peeling off of it, but squint a bit and it is legible enough.
okay. Well, that's useful info.
And
Let's scoot, I suppose. Go and buy some beasts of burden to carry the thing.
there you go.
That's how slow my clicking is. Is like I was just testing that from
Uh,
5 ago.
Jeez.
yeah. Fucking roll 20.
All right.
Cool.
Finding
So, so
horses.
so we have his name at least, and we have the storefront name. So we have everything to identify him.
Yep, and we've got his cart, and so if he happens to get us out of his contract, we can either we can keep the cart, it might be useful to have, or we can give it over to the Thieves Guild, and I think they'd be pleased as punch with this outcome.
Yeah,
Like, because if we turn it over to them, then they've got him by the balls, no matter what he does.
yeah. He's
The technical term there.
Fiffle points out. It also has thieves' cant on it.
Oh yeah, what's it say?
Fence.
I don't know what I expected.
not even like sneaky, just fence.
Dead dove don't open. I don't know what I expected. All right, let's get some animals to hook it up to, and then go wheel it out of here.
You pass the stable by. Didn't really pay it much mind, but you do know where it is.
Okay.
You see a drow woman kind of just. This stable is, as far as you're used to, normal, as it is a collection of horses and mules.
Okay. Howdy. You speak common by chance?
I deal with surface dwellers, so yes, I do.
Excellent. How much for some animals to pull a cart, pull a wagon, about 12 feet long?
Get you a mule or two. 2 mules would definitely make sure that it could move.
Okay, how much would that run me?
16 gold, 8 for each.
Done. Graham will give 16 gold and get 2 carts, or 2 mules in a cart.
She goes in, brings you 2 mules plus the tack for them. They don't bother naming them, so if you want to give them a name, go ahead. But honestly, they're probably going to be food of something or other down here, so don't get too
Hopefully not.
attached.
Well, thank you kindly. Uh, Graham will lead him back, go back to the impound lot, and get the wagon out of storage.
The 2 mules hook up quite nicely, side by side to the, and there is in fact a small little spot at the top for a rider or the driver to sit to drive the mules forward.
Nice.
The mules give their little muley noises.
Mhm.
I think it's a kind of a bray like a donkey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our mule guy is Shrek's donkey. Like
All right.
pancakes.
Onward.
All right. So that's we just over the thieves guild, I guess.
Yeah. And Graham is gonna, just in case, he's gonna have Fiffle temporarily cover up the fence thieves can't, so they don't get in trouble if there's some kind of sting or whatever looking for that.
Don't worry, Graham. I got you. He heads up to where the thieves' cant is and just kind of takes a knife and scrawls there. All right,
Okay.
Graham. I wrote not a fence.
Ah, good enough.
We just take like a blanket and just put it over it.
Or, if you'd like, I could do something else, cover it up completely with another word.
Uh,
Well,
just temporarily, so we don't get in any trouble bringing it over. Don't want to face plant in the home stretch, now do we?
I gotcha. He goes
what's
up,
the
comes back a little while later. Okay, it's all set.
What'd you do?
I wrote muffins for sale, and thieves can't on it. Because Fern makes
Good
us
enough.
muffins.
Sounds good.
Muffins. All right. Let's take it back to the Thieves Guild, and we will fill them in on A, we got the guy's identity. B, we know where he's at. C, we know he's out of the game. And D, we have his wagon, and we can turn it over to them so they can dangle that over his head. Maybe they could buy out his contract and then just get him that way.
execute him by the state.
Executed for crimes.
I've been hanging out with Ian too much. Executed by the state.
Well, you do know where you're supposed to meet your contact, the one who had hired you to find this guy. It would be on the outer city.
All right, let's take it.
Cart
Yes.
trundles through the street. Takes you about an hour or so to get to where you're supposed to meet him. The contact does eventually make his way. Drow man you spoke to earlier. Hello.
Howdy. Got some good news for you.
I'm ready to hear it.
Well, this kind of slaps the side of the wagon. Is the wagon your errant fence was operating out of, and he's wound up an indentured servant to one of the houses after they impounded him for not having business permits to sell from this thing. But this seems to be everything he owns. We can tell you where he is. We can tell you who bought his contract if you want to buy him out, and be happy to part ways with this wagon to give you guys a little more leverage over him.
Well, I don't have use for a wagon, so you can keep it. He looks at the name, Fazen. I hate to tell you this, guys. That's probably a fake name, but I'll gladly listen to the rest of your information.
All right. Graham will fill them in.
Okay. Kenthrick, probably gone to a cadet house. Okay, well, it's a start. That's good. Most likely, if I had to take a guess, especially for any thief worth his salt, he's probably already run away. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't say
Well,
he's out of the game completely, but
well, here was my thinking about the wagon. We turn it over to you. You've kind of got him right where you want him, and you can kind of press him into your own service again. Get your money back through him over a couple of however many's.
if you want, we could take it off your hands and put out feelers for him. See if he's willing to take the bait. Now, mind you, this isn't a case of we want to recruit him. You understand? This is a case of we're gonna gut him when we find him.
Well, you could do that,
up.
but
And I mean quite literally.
oh no, I know what you meant. Just my thinking is you'll set an example for him, but it might be an even better example to force him to work for you after all that anyway. Pay off what he owes you if he wants to keep his hide. I mean, anybody can kill someone. That's kind of the way things go down here. But don't you think it'd be a bit of a feather in the associate's cap if you had found an independent operator and you brought him to heel?
Make a persuasion check, Ram.
I will try. Hey, nice.
You do.
Firstly, I want them to execute him, but
You do raise a good point. He did cost us a bit, cost us some trouble with the main houses. If we can put him under employment and keep him under our thumb, we'd definitely be able to. And we could always gut him after the fact.
yeah. And if he doesn't want to play ball, you got him.
Well, the fact is, I have no real intention of giving him his cart back, even if it's bait for him to come and get it. So, wipe his name off of it, and you can keep it, or we'll probably just smash it up and sell it for kindling.
Well, might as well keep it, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, you just pay for the mules.
But we'll put out the word that we have it. Give us a tally of what's inside, just so he knows we actually to an extent, have it.
All right. Graham will list out everything.
Yeah.
Ah, very good.
You just want to like thoroughly go through it again, like in front of him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something like that.
Never know what we might find. We kind of just did it
The
there.
Ark of the Covenant.
Well, make an investigation roll.
I'll make an investigation roll. Can I
Yeah.
get assistance from Fiffle helping because he knows how a thief would hide things?
Yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah.
Can I just do independent ones?
Nice.
I would say in this case, Graham covers it.
Yeah, he covered it pretty good.
Looking through, Fiffle is able to help you identify that there is a small, basically like it's very hard to see because it's well fitted in. But if you remove two of the boards on the floor, it leads to a small little smuggler's cache underneath. You could probably fit in one medium-sized creature or two small creatures. It's empty currently, but it could easily be used for smuggling. Fiffle also takes a knife and opens up the inner lining of the bedroll you found, and is able to dump out a number of items. It's really basically a small sack that kind of lands, and you hear like coins and a small little leather-bound journal.
Let's check those out.
Inside, coins, totals are good. Probably, yeah, you count out 28 gold pretty easily.
Nice.
The journal, written in Undercommon, difficult to say unless you were to translate it.
I have the translation book, so.
You could. It would take you a bit of time, especially as you have to account for the grammar.
Graham is going to cast, I believe tongues lets you read stuff as well.
Or comprehend languages?
I think tongues also includes, actually no, it is only spoken, isn't it? Damn. Who do we have that, oops, ignore that. Who do we have that speaks Undercommon? Fiffle does, right?
No, only Kaido, I think.
Oh, shit.
Kaido. Yeah, and that's, does he know how to read?
He actually has very good intelligence, but...
is he available, or is he sleeping off something off screen?
You would have to go and see.
Oh, he's got problems, all right.
Can you get the gist of it while we're taking care of that?
I'll start translating if you want.
Does it look like there's a name in the journal?
Yeah, if you'd like, you can look in the front there and try and take a look.
Might as well.
Yeah.
Right. It looks scrawled in. It's kind of difficult to make out just because it's actual handwritten as opposed to printed through a press. Tabrin. Banner.
All right. Well, we can tell the.
Does that name ring any bells from any of our travels yet?
It does not. No.
Okay. We find out like he's been working with the slaves to free them all or some shit. Like, congratulations, you're an asshole.
We can tell the Thieves Guild his real name though, and see that one.
That is true.
Parts Graham will probably look fake.
Yeah, we'll tell him the name.
Yeah, Graham will point that out to him.
A rare bit of actual someone's name. If I were him, he probably has a number of false identities he uses, but with the actual name, this is great because we could easily scry on him if we need to. Especially with will you be parting ways with this journal, or do you wish to hold on to it? It's useful for us scrying.
Let's we'll turn it over to you, but I'd like a little bit of time to go through it myself, and then maybe when we can meet back up with you in a couple hours or something.
I'll tell you what, I don't really have a lot of time to wait, so he takes the journal, he rips out the first page with the name written on it, hands you the rest of the journal. Should be good enough. He scrawled his name onto it with ink by his own hand, I would assume, so...
He doesn't seem like he's got means for much else, yeah. Alright, then I guess our business is just about done here.
Well, you did achieve everything we tasked you for, including finding the name, so... I believe the price was 200 gold to give to you.
Is that correct? Out of character.
I think it is.
Yeah. That sounds about right to me.
I was to say, what's the Google Doc say? Did we put it in the Google Doc?
It wasn't there, no. Well,
Um,
if he doesn't remember, you know what? We'll say to the best of everyone's knowledge, it was 200 gold.
Roll for amnesia.
yeah, this is out of character, but this is so you're here, Rami. Each.
He's there in spirit.
Okay.
He hands you a bag of 200 gold. There you are.
All right.
And if you
I'll
would
put
like
it on
to,
my sheet for now. We could part it out later.
and if you're interested in partaking of any of the association's various services or goods, please feel free. We offer all sorts of things, and the majority of it is legal.
Well, thank you. We'll keep that in mind. It's always good to have friends down here.
Mm-hmm. Well, we won't be meeting again. Good day.
Safe travels. Cool. All right, we actually did a thing successfully.
Without killing anybody. Again, this is like two of them.
Yeah, technically we avoided a murder. Well, unless he fucks around with them and they gut him, but that'll be his own fault at that point.
It's not. That blood isn't on our hand, buddy.
I was just following orders. Cool. All right, success.
All right. And you do have the sales record for the slaves, which is what kicked off this whole misadventure.
We do. So the next thing to do is make sure we're not getting followed around. And then we can see if we can go deliver that information to the slaves, though they are probably laying low so they don't get murdered after the Inquisition crackdown. So let's reconvene. Let's talk to Sathara and figure out how we can progress further from here.
Okay. You head back to the hotel?
I think so. Just
Yes.
do a couple of double turns just to make sure nobody's following us. But other than that, yeah.
Immense paranoia mode.
Yeah. I mean, the secret is hypervigilance.
Make a perception check.
Good luck.
I will percept also, and
Oh, not
I
bad.
can,
It won't stack up to anybody's like big boy stealth modifiers, but it's not nothing.
All right.
perception.
Otto and Fern, you don't see anybody really following you. Everything looks to be normal. Graham, you do identify a number of guards wearing plain clothes who look to just be checking around, making sure everything's good. Few of them do actually, you notice, have a small little ring. Like, you catch it just barely, but they have a ring turned inside, and it does bear a mark indicating that they are, in fact, part of the council hall and possibly even inquisitors, but they don't seem to be following you.
Okay. Graham will fly casual for a little bit before we can turn our wagon toward the inn and then head back.
Okay. The wagon eventually arrives at the inn. There's a valet out front. Looks at you all. Park your wagon, sirs?
Yeah. Does he have a silver collar? Like, does he look like an actual valet, or does he look like a horse thief?
He has the silver collar around his neck.
Graham will give him a silver to park the wagon.
Thank you, sir. He jumps on. Yeah, and the mules just bray and just pull him forward. And you see the cart go around down an alley behind the hotel itself.
Okay.
Close to where you left Charlie, actually.
Okay.
Charlie.
That's right. We got Charlie.
Charlie.
All right. Let's go back to our rooms.
Go to Candy Mountain, Charlie.
Let's Graham will wake up Kaido to help them translate the book, the journal.
Kaido, bleary-eyed, just hair, clothes, completely disarray. A bottle of some sort of alcohol in his hand, just the smallest amount left at the bottom. Oh, Graham, I'm glad you've. How's every good thing going?
Um, Pretty good.
You
You
look like you had a great
smell
time,
like a
Kaido.
stable. You good, buddy?
Hair of the dog, Graham, and he drinks the rest of it. I'm perfectly fine. Now, if you excuse me, Val and I have been partaking of the culture of the city and enjoying its various. What was I saying?
You were you were
The
enjoying Flint.
culture of the city, Graham.
Happenstance.
Yes. Wherewithal.
There we go.
Who
Okay.
is who is she, Kaido?
I
We're
don't
not
be.
really on a names basis.
All I know is
Uh,
she said her name was Candy, and I left it at that.
you sober enough for a little bit of reading? Kind of
Yes,
hold up the
always,
journal.
Graham. Bring me to this book of mystery and suspense.
Graham will hand him the journal and just kind of stay nearby so if he's gonna throw up, he can turn his head away from the journal.
Hmm. Looks through it. Not as exciting as the chain holder, but I'm sure it's got its own unique character to it. Of one of the 5 different smut novels he had purchased. Okay. Well, Graham, uh, seems to have belonged to a raid leader. Went to the surface. Would collect slaves. Received a debilitating injury and wasn't able to get it healed. Lost his position to another younger raid leader. Became destitute. Made his way from his current city where he had been expelled for uh, I don't think that's a real word. Uh, Larceny. That's not a thing. And then was made his way to this city where he started attempting to act as a fence in order to make his way. I don't know. Become a raid leader again, I guess is my interpretation of this.
Hmm. Seems a little unlikely if he had a debilitating injury unless he recovered from it.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Is that everything in the book?
Well, there's a lot more where he talks about the various details of his raids. Looks like he primarily worked around. Let's see here. Says that it was a town around Springwell is where he operated.
Hmm.
Talked about attempting to purchase some slaves to sell to the Shaper. Yeah, that's funny. He mentions finding out some information about the Shaper,
Oh, yeah?
and then well, that's all it says. It doesn't. He didn't write it down.
Hmm.
It says here ran away from the where he saw it. Oh, neat.
Something to go off, maybe.
Mm-hmm. But
Thanks,
we already
buddy.
killed the Shaper, though, right, Graham?
Not
No.
yet.
Oh,
Don't
well,
worry, you'll be a hero soon.
You hear that, Val? I'm gonna be a hero.
Is that the rest of the book now?
I mean, unless you want to hear him complain about his parents, then yeah.
Okay. You know what? If it's all in undercommon, I'm gonna take this journal and just use it to practice my undercommon translation and get better at it over time.
Alrighty. Well, that's it. I hope you enjoyed
Story time is
Kaido's story time. Kaido's gonna
I
go.
always do.
I'm gonna go lay down now, Graham. I'm
yeah. You
feeling a
go back to
little.
Candy. You go back to Candy.
No, you don't understand. I think she's literally sold candy.
That tracks.
I sealed my jaw shut with taffy for 30 minutes.
Mm.
Well,
I don't even know where they find salt water down here, Graham.
He's a little intoxicated. I'm gonna like tell him to go back to his room and like direct him to the brothel.
It's gonna lay down. He heads back to his room.
all right.
Excellent.
So
Let's I don't
Uh,
know. Let's uh I guess we can get caught up with Sathara and put our heads together on how to deliver the Shaper info to the slaves.
yeah, she
okay.
was here though, right? For
She
that
would be
whole.
in the room. Yeah.
So Graham will update Sathara on what they've been up to and see what she's been up to.
Well, I've just been lying low, Graham. If you have the sales information that actually spells out exactly who's been sold, I just say get this to the slave quarter as quick as you can. That way,
Okay.
because sounds like they're going to start actually picking them up soon.
Then yeah, let's not dawdle. Just got to make sure we're not followed.
Yeah,
We'll be following.
I got to them time, so I think they went to ground. I'm sure. I mean, they're looking for you because they sent you on that assignment. So if you show up, I'm sure somebody will find you.
Yeah, it's
Hmm.
me. I think it's me and Graham. They're on the lookout for.
Well, it's all you, man. I am saw some inquisitors out there, so I'm gonna be staying here if it's all the same to you.
Yeah, makes sense. All right.
Let's just prepare to leave the city ASAP once we've delivered the info.
Not a
Oh,
bad idea.
if we're gonna leave ASAP, then I am. I
Yeah,
guess I'll
just
probably come with you and just I don't know, wear a hood or something.
We
yeah,
can come back and pick you up. The last thing we got to figure out is if we're gonna have to duck those inquisitors, because we learned the hard way. You can't really lie to the some bitches.
That is good to know.
yeah, yeah.
Believe me, it was tried.
Kaido had a bad time.
On the plus side, I'm pretty sure
Yes.
the inquisitors. Well, they're gonna stick out like a sore thumb among the slaves, so they're probably gonna be talking to any of the guards and sending the guards out to like look for the slaves themselves. But we'll see.
Yeah. Uh, I guess we gotta get ready to get ready. Let's get Charlie and the mules and the wagon.
She's like, "You bought a wagon?"
Uh, Long story. There was a fence taken under the table from the local thieves guild, and we needed a little more cash flow to find the fucker.
Oh, well, I guess we have a cart now.
Yeah, I want to make it a little easier, though. We'd be fools if they didn't search the damn thing. So we'll expect that.
Oh, I was gonna think I could hide in the back, but I'll just
Well,
stay
we've
here.
got there is a hold in the thing.
Oh, well, look at that. Smuggler's thing?
Yep.
All right. Then I think I will be coming with you.
Get in the bag. All right. With all that said and done, and this, that, and the other thing, I guess we can start heading to the slave district.
Okay. You collect Charlie, who Fiffle leads up and actually has him rest on top of the cart.
You
And
know what? This sounds exactly like what would happen. So
once again, out of character, just because it's been a long time and we've been intermittent with people being busy, is there any other loose ends that we're forgetting that we were working on down here?
the only thing that's loose and out of character would be at some point I need to do that ritual with that guy's skin. But that's like not
Yep.
tied to the
You
underground.
can bring the skin with you.
Yeah,
We got
it's
skin at home.
yeah.
Also, I did the
um,
exact opposite of what I was supposed to with the blackmail thing. So
well, that's a them problem.
Yeah, but you did end up with money, so you did end up with a big payday on your own.
yeah, I need to add that to my sheet.
You're not wrong.
Really good gold.
Graham absolutely wants to come back here and like not burn it down, but unslavery it the hard way. But at the moment, that seems to be a little bit beyond our capability.
Why don't you just summon an interdimensional portal that destroys the whole area?
What Graham will probably do is do some divinations, especially
Why don't you just
after
open a
a.
portal? You should open a portal to hell and let hell come in here and just like kill them all.
I'm good aligned. Watching
Well,
him raise it all to the
thankfully,
ground with just screaming and like ankle deep blood. I'm a
uh,
hero.
I'm I am chaos aligned and full of
Zoro, I'm helping.
vengeance.
All right. If there's nothing that we are like legitimately out of character forgetting, I guess we can start heading to the slave quarter.
I don't
Yeah,
believe so.
yeah.
Okay.
All right. Sithara finds the little smuggler's hold and makes her way into it. Kind of like opens the thing, presses down. It's like, oh, it even has handles on the interior too.
Nice. Graham will make sure that uh, Kaido does not see the hold, so if he gets questioned, there's no way he can actually let it slip, and that might actually be useful to us, especially if they've marked him as an easy read.
Kaido.
So, like, I don't even let him on until she's in the hold and hidden.
Okay. Yeah, she kind of opens it up. You actually see she like points it out. On the interior are actual small hinges, so it opens up like a door.
Nice.
All right. With her inside, Kaido gets on. Now, Graham, I gotta warn you. I get car sick.
Ah, gotcha. Graham will give him a bag. Just the Patton Oswalt, what a horrible thing to be great at bag.
Hank's just like, ha! He's not using me.
Yeah, let's make sure we keep you two apart just in case he grabs for anything nearby.
If he puts his head in me, I'm taking it.
I can't really argue that one.
Although,
Let's try to avoid that then.
Kaido, come over here. If you need to vomit, just you can throw up in me.
But you have to put your hand in first.
But you gotta put your whole head in me first. Right at the neck, right at the thinnest part of your neck.
Hey, Hank, what do you think of making money?
Wasn't I gonna make money or learn magic or something so I could use a true polymorph to become a real man?
Once you
We'll put
become
that
a,
on the to-do list.
you can make money with your true polymorph spell once you learn it.
This is
We can
true,
talk about
yes.
it later. We can learn. We can talk about it later. We don't want Kaido to get in on your money making idea.
What I will do, and Hank's little straps come and they grab. Yes, let's see here. Kobold's servant girl. This is an interesting
Oh
one.
God.
I will be reading this quietly to myself. Do not bug me unless you have need of what's inside of Hank.
I got questions that I don't need answered. Let's go.
So does Hank.
I need wizard puberty.
You make your way to the slave district?
Yep.
All right. Well, it's the site you've seen a couple times before. Just the kind of far sea of just like the shacks and the wooden houses. The people in their like, ragged clothes with the iron collars around their neck. The little towers with the guards inside.
And remind me, did we have Fiffle make a copy of this so we would have our own copy?
Of the.
Oh, we did.
Yeah, Fiffle made a copy of the sales sheet. It wasn't great in terms of. It had all the relevant information, but anybody who was familiar with it would realize it's not official documentation. But
Yeah.
it does have everything you want, so it is a proper list.
So can we make another copy of it? Again, it just has to have the info. It doesn't have to look legit. Just so we have a record ourselves, so we can like go up to the surface authorities and be like, here's the names of a shit ton of people who got taken from the surface to be slaves. Maybe you should do something about that.
As you travel, Fiffle will make a very
Nice.
good copy of it.
It actually looks more official.
It's like, so he brings up a official copy because I even add in Fiffle's like proficiency and other stuff. So Fiffle is able to make a second copy of the sales records. Having practiced with the first copy, he makes one that looks indistinguishable from the first one.
Nice. All right, let's talk to the dude.
Okay. As you arrive in the slave quarter, you takes a little bit of time, but eventually, you see a slave with a basket full of these like wiggling white worms in it, and he just comes up. He's like, "Follow me, follow
Okay.
me," he whispers, and then not with the cart.
Okay. Kaido, Fiffle, guard the cart.
Will do, Gramio.
And then let's follow them. And
Graham, before you go, I have to warn you. Happenstance.
I see. Thank you. Happenstance and wherewithal. That becomes like our battle cry.
The slave leads you further into. These shacks are a little taller, and closed in more, and you see some fencing. It is also strategically built in a way that it blocks view from one of the towers.
Nice.
Outside, you see the orc, who had been like heavily scarred with that like collar with the studs on the interior, kind of pushing in.
Oh. Ugh. Howdy. Sorry about the delay. We ran into complications, as I'm sure you know.
Yeah, some of us had to go to ground, but we had some inquisitors looking through, but they weren't able to find anything. Your runner was able to get us some information, so that's good. I
Good.
take it you
We
have
got
the.
Oops, sorry.
You got the info?
We do. Graham will give him the copy of the list.
Looks it over. Okay. He takes this. I'm going to get this to a few other people who are going to find the people on this list and make sure that they don't get found. Now,
Nice.
if you excuse me, there's somebody inside who wants to see you.
Oh, all right. Graham will head in and wish the guy good luck.
Thank you. Another slave comes over, and you see them exchange words, and he hands them the list. The other slave, very spry, young, takes the list, looks it over, and just immediately takes off. Inside the actual shack, it's tight, kind of closed in. Very little in the way of furniture. It's primarily just a couple of stools and like a very short table made of scrap wood. Few of the people see you. They move the table out of the way, and they like lift up a small little trapdoor. He's waiting down there to speak to you, the leader.
Let's head down there.
As you head down, it's lit, dim light from some low burning torches, a couple of candles, and down below you see a number of slaves kind of just sitting around a table. You see a map on the table itself. Standing among them is a slave. You'd actually seen him earlier. He was covered kind of head to toe in bandages, looking like a mummy. He looks at you all. Ah, I see that you were able to get the information. We know you are a friend of ours. So, we're going to hopefully be able to. We can't do much about slavery in the city now. However, I have a task for you. I need you to go find and kill the Shaper. Because with him gone, we'll be able to hopefully not be sold to him. Because slaves go there and they never come back and are not heard from again.
Yeah, I got some guesses as to what he's up to, and suffice to say, that's what we're down here to do at the end of the day.
We were able to get a little more
we could do for you in the moment.
Good enough for now. Some slaves are going to be picked up to be brought to him. Or they might just send out just a messenger saying that they can't make the deal right now and ask for an extension. I'd recommend following that messenger or even replacing him if you can, because it's not going to be necessarily a drow. You can meet
Might
up
have
with.
somebody who can take their place if they're willing to play.
My understanding is they were going to take them to a meeting point with some of the Grey Orcs. Then the Grey Orcs would then take them to the Shapers' headquarters. So you can tail them. You can find the Grey Orcs there and trail them back. Oh, I'm sorry. Where are my manners? I didn't introduce myself. And he begins to undo the bandages around his head, and it pulls it down, and you see a creature made of wood and metal in front of you with glass eyes in a humanoid shape. It's like reaches out a hand. It's a strong metal grip on it. It's like, I'm the leader of the slaves rebellion down here. My name is Kill for you.
Ah, Graham will shake his hand.
It is a hard, good squeeze to it. You've never encountered a creature at all like this.
Graham doesn't look like nonplussed, but he definitely like has that moment of appraisal. Huh, that's new.
Well then, we have a lot of work to handle now, don't we?
That we do.
And we'll end it here.
Nice.